Hi, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. We are in what I call the saddle of summer, the time between what I consider to be between the 4th of July and I always forget which, Labor Day, right? Yeah, Labor Day. It's that time where we all kind of slow down and relax. At least I do. I hope you're able to too. People are taking vacations. We ran down to Bennett Springs and the Niagara River in central Missouri several weeks ago, and a little getting back to nature, and then ran up last weekend to Iowa for Mrs. IP's family reunion, where we sat for a couple of days and ate and drank and watched the Iowa River flow by, and didn't do much of anything, and which is a great mental reset that everybody should have occasionally. Then we came down Iowa, followed the Mississippi down, and stopped in Hannibal, Missouri, so the kids could see the Tom Sawyer fence and all that, and then across northern Missouri, which is beautiful, and back home. So now we're here, just kind of settling in to the saddle of summer. Every year at this time, those of us who have gardens, we're starting to bring in the first pickings. Maybe some of you are ahead of us. If you're down south, you're ahead of us. If you're up north, you're not quite there. But we're bringing in the first pickings, and it's looking great this year. The rains that really gave some problems to a lot of the farmers were good for gardeners. Because it's just kind of a different thing. And we were happy to see coming across Iowa and Missouri that a lot of the fields have been planted, and they're doing very well. So, I know that a lot of people were worried about food shortages and things like that, but it looks like things are going pretty well. And for the people that I talked to up there, they kind of agree with that. So we'll keep a good thought and hope that pans out. A suggestion that I have for people is at this time, at this kind of relaxation time of the summer, is to relax. And by that I mean also just kind of relax. If prepping is one or the main things in your life, I would suggest that you just relax a little bit on it. Nobody can sustain that level of anxiety, and I see anxiety in too many preppers, and I encourage them not to be anxious. Being prepared is not something that you should be anxious about, that stems from worry or fear or whatever. It should be something that is relaxing. Every time that you do it, you should feel better about everything, that whether it's your food, a piece of equipment, which I'm gonna do a separate one on that, because I think people just getting way overboard on equipment, and I'll stop right there for that, because that deserves a video of its own. Or your gardening or whatever, let it be enjoyable to you. One of the things that there's an old saying that if you're not playing a big enough game, you're going to screw up the one you're playing just to give yourself something to do. And I see too many preppers still, running in the high RPMs at what I consider to be the lower range of preparedness. They're all anxious. It seems like every day they have to talk about something. And I check in, and I watch some of the other channels. Well, no, I don't. I to be honest, I don't watch a lot of the other channels. I often can't get past their headlines, that are trying to scare me and tell me that I have to do this today, and this is, what you got to do, and be aware of this, and be worried about that, and be afraid of this, and I'm just not into that. I think it's foolishness. Once that preparedness is your way of life, you should do it in a a reasonable fashion. Now, I do watch a number of channels that I think are good and fulfilling and edifying. And these are people that are very thoughtful, and some talk about social issues, and some talk about preparedness, hands-on skills and things. And I think that those are great, and I've mentioned them before. If you want to know what they are, I was going to say I've mentioned them before, and I'll probably mention them again. But let's see if I can just rack them off here quickly. I always hate to do this because I'm afraid I'm going to leave someone out. But these are ones that I think bring you very, very good value for the time that you spend on YouTube. They're not people that say, oh, what have I got to do? I've got to figure out something to talk about today. I've got to put out a video. I got to do this. I got to do that. That's not these guys, and you don't want to be living like that anyway. So let me think about them here. Corsair Trainers, Steve over at Corsair Trainers, great one. Watch him. Zombie Farmer, Real World Prepper, Kansas Prepper. I haven't seen much of Kansas Prepper lately. Maybe he's relaxing like I am. I don't know. He does good stuff. Modern Refugee, great stuff. Love his stuff every day. Now, I've been in this for a long time, and every time I watch one of his, I learn something. So Refugee, man, you're doing a great job. Thanks for everything that I learned from you. And if anybody out there is not watching him, you ought to be. Who else? There's some others. Revolting Man, I love Zach. If you want an unfiltered guy who is just going to tell you exactly how he feels, then you're going to, and he sometimes does social, and sometimes he'll talk about his tomahawks and all this, and I just love him. We have a couple of differences. We eat differently, but that just means there's more bacon for me, right, Zach? But anyway, he is tune into him too. Guru, is there any that I'm forgetting? I probably am. And that's why I hesitate to do this. But if he's thinking here, because he pretty much knows, huh? Just a second. Just say what? Go ahead. Yeah.
I'll cut that out.
We'll get right back to you. I'll get right back to you.
What about the guy that talked about the rainbow? The rainbow.
I don't remember that, so I'll leave that for right now. But if I've left any out, I'll try to catch him on the next one. Anyway, this is a good time of the year to watch these videos. Watch them in a relaxed manner, think about them, and read some good books. And I'll put some suggestions down here of some good books you might like to read by somebody that I know very well. And that brings us to the next thing. Are you playing a big enough game? I referred to this just a second ago. Like they say, if you're not playing a big enough game, you're going to screw up the one you're playing just to give yourself something to do, okay, because you don't know what else to do. Okay. When I wrote the Stonemont series, and that's what I might suggest you read, it described someone thinking big enough. Okay, I still see too many people, and this is why when I see it, if I click on their videos and I see that it's all about just survival as opposed to living and regenerating society, I pretty much click it off, because we all want to survive. That's a given. That's nothing new. And the information is pretty much the same. It's been out there forever. People have been living like that for thousands of years. So and if it's new to you, then great. Go and watch this stuff. But I can't take a steady diet of that. But when I wrote the Stonemont series, it was about, and now that I'm writing the next series that's a sequel, and I almost slipped and gave the name of it, but I'm not going to. It was about thinking big enough. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why are you preparing? Are you preparing mentally and emotionally as well as physically? Are you preparing for the next step after survival? And what is that next step after survival? Okay, so if you wanna think about a bigger game, that's a good place to start. I've really enjoyed hearing from some of you who have read this last book, the Renewal. My shipment should be getting in here in a week or so, and then I'll be, able to get out autographed copies and things like that, or you can get them on Amazon right now. So anyway, think about a bigger game than you have been. Okay. Think about what you want to be, what you want your family to be in 5 years. Okay. What kind of world do you want to make for your kids and your grandkids down the road? Think about that. Get past this. We're gonna go. We got our rice and beans, and we're gonna run out in the woods and patrol. And you better learn to patrol. Okay. Yeah. Patrolling is good, but I'll tell you what. The moonshiners. I won't name them. I had some cousins who were shiners. They know just as much about patrolling as some that claim they specialize in it. So I'll leave that for right now. But now, what you can do right now while you're relaxing, you shouldn't stop your daily preps. You should always be doing something. Every day you should be doing something in your preparedness schedule. But we're going to be coming up pretty soon on the most dangerous time of year. And boy, I apologize for the traffic. We're close to a major road, and it's a Saturday, and all the trucks are coming by to deliver landscaping stuff and things. Everybody's landscaping now, and most of them, I'm the only one who does it himself. Everybody else has big crews coming in. So, but we're getting close to the most dangerous time of year, and I'll explain that in another video. But in addition to your preps, there is one thing that I would suggest you buy every chance you get, and it's not just for preparedness. Actually it is, but it's for preparedness in a political way, in a financial way, down the road. You might remember back when a previous occupant of the White House was in, how it was tough to get ammo, right? You'd walk in a gun store or a Cabela's or a Bass Pro or an Academy, and there were no handguns in the cases. There were no ARs up there. There were, a lot of the shotguns and semi-auto 22s were gone. You couldn't get 22 ammo, and if you remember what the prices were, there were $500 ARs selling for $2,000. There were boxes of 50 22 selling for 10 and 15 bucks, just because. And everybody has a different opinion on why that was. Was it an actual shortage? Was it a manufactured shortage? Was it fear purchases and things? And I think a lot of it was, but it doesn't matter. The point of it was, you couldn't get it. And so now we're living in the easy times. And so here's something from the Integrative Preparedness Financial, what do they call these guys? Advisory Academy. Every time you're in a store that has it, buy a box of 22. Okay, you can get these all day long for $2.50. Oh, he says up and in. Okay, thumbs up. I must have. One of these days I'll be able to make like commercials for shampoo or something if I learn how to hold these right. Okay, $2.50. You can buy them all day. Now, don't buy all of them. When you go into a store, don't buy all of them, because that's just gonna make people think that there's a shortage, and next time some comes in, somebody else is gonna buy all of them, and then we're right back into the problem we had before, right? And to be honest, if I had 100,000 viewers or subscribers or whatever, I wouldn't do this, because I wouldn't want to cause that. But I've got 200 and not much subscribers right now, and thank you very much for you guys who are. And for those who aren't, hey, feel free, right? But for the couple hundred I've got, every time you're in a store, Academy, Walmart, Bass Pro, Cabela's, wherever, pick up a box or two of these, okay? And just stick them in your closet, stick them in your basement, stick them in your safe room or your ammo safe or whatever, because we know that politics are going to change. They always do. Okay, even if we're lucky enough to continue this run that we're on now for another 5 or 6 years, it's going to change. and we're going to get back to the point to where they're going to come after our guns, they're going to come after the ammo, the same thing is going to happen, and you won't be able to buy 22 except from somebody who's got it, and the people who think that they need it and can't get it are again going to be paying 10 and 15 bucks for a box of 50 of these things. Now if you have bought a box or two every time you go out into one of these places, and you've got well, I won't even give a number, just to say a lot, okay? And I mean, bricks are cheap now too. You got a lot, and if you can sell whatever you got of these, you know, that you'll never use, for 10 bucks when you bought them for 2.5 bucks, you know, that's better than your 401k's doing, right? Okay. So that is one of the easiest ways to just stockpile. I'd rather do this than precious metals. I mean, kind of precious metals anyway, right? So that's my advice today. I'm going to finish another. This is why I don't drink coffee on tape, because I slurp it and I swallow loud. But I'm going to sit here and relax now and let you all go and relax. Have a good summer. Remember, think about a bigger game. Relax. Watch some good videos. Get away from the ones that are trying to wind you up. Okay, and maintain an even emotional keel on this, and then start buying a little bit of that stuff now while it's cheap. And I'll let you go with that. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.